President Uhuru Kenyatta is crafting an alliance and is doing it secretly. And the purpose of this alliance, in my considered opinion, is to hand over the presidency of the Republic of Kenya to either Raila Odinga or to One Kenya movement. That's the honest truth. Because let's face it, what are some of the options President Uhuru Kenyatta is left with? President Uhuru Kenyatta is left with only two options. The first option is to support William Samoei Ruto for the presidency. Of course, we all know that President Uhuru Kenyatta promised to support his deputy in 2022. But do you think he can do that now, based on the prevailing political atmosphere in this country? I doubt if the president can support his deputy. And that's the first option for him. And of course, in politics, you can't rule out anything. They can mend fences and the president can support his deputy. The second option, which the president is left with, is to stop William Samoei Ruto. And this is what the president is clearly doing. And how do you support William Samoei Ruto? You support William Samoei Ruto using two things: perceptual numbers and the deep state. When you talk of perceptual numbers, who amongst these four gentlemen, or five, that is Raila Odinga, Gideon Moi, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula, who else? Those five guys. Who amongst them can bring the numbers? Because let's face it, 2022 general election will only have presidential candidates from those lists. List of six: Ruto, Raila, Mudavadi, Kalonzo, Gideon Moi, Moses Wetangula. I don't even know Moses Wetangula is there. Those are the only people. We don't expect a third force to emerge. But who among these five individuals has the ability to deliver the presidency if he's supported by the deep state? This is something the president is actually working on. And that takes us to his strategy. President Uhuru Kenyatta's strategy is informed by several factors. Number one is the game of numbers. Who among these guys has the numbers? Raila Odinga. Do you think Raila Odinga still has the numbers? Kalonzo Musyoka. Do you think Kalonzo Musyoka, with the support of Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta, can win the presidency? What about Gideon Moi? What about Musalia Mudavadi? It's a game of numbers. And this is why the president is keen on crafting this alliance. Let me just take you through how the president is doing this. President Uhuru Kenyatta realized that Raila Odinga fell out with the NASA core principles. And one thing the president has tried to do is to reconcile these guys. But seemingly these guys are not ready to reconcile. So the president is dealing with them separately. And how do you think the president is dealing with them separately? Craft One Kenya Alliance. So One Kenya Alliance brings together Kalonzo, Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, NASA principles, and Gideon Moi. So by bringing together these guys, it means at a later date, at a later time, President Uhuru Kenyatta is likely to force them to work with Raila Odinga. Either Raila Odinga supporting them or the president will ask them to support Raila Odinga. That's how I'm looking at it. And what about Raila Odinga? Raila Odinga has been interested in the presidency. And something happened in ODM party. Raila Odinga has not submitted his papers for the presidency. Is it by design? Or is it strategic? Because we also know that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have made it very clear that the handshake was not about 2022 general election. Raila Odinga has not submitted his papers. What is cooking? Is it possible that Raila Odinga is willing to forfeit his presidency for the sake of for the sake of Ali Hassan Joho and Oparanya, the deputy party leaders of ODM party? So basically what the president is doing, he's managing Raila Odinga and he's also managing the former NASA principles separately. And at a later date, he's going to bring them together. So that's number one. Number two is interest. Politics is about interest. That's the honest truth. And who is likely to serve President Uhuru Kenyatta's political interest? Is it Gideon Moi? Then if it's Gideon Moi, and Gideon Moi cannot become the next president of the Republic of Kenya, then it means Gideon Moi must be prepared the way the president is doing now for the presidency in future. But in 2022, because the president will be going home, he must leave Gideon Moi right at the center of power. So his interest. What about Raila Odinga? I am of the opinion, and I think I've stated this severally on this platform, that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the family are trying to solve historical injustices against the Odinga's family. And you can see clearly how the president has treated Raila Odinga during this time Raila was sick. The president would want a situation where one member of his family would one day inherit the Luo support. And how do they do this? Let me tell you one thing. You see the way the president has managed Raila Odinga when he was sick and after the handshake. If Raila Odinga were to decide today to retire from politics, I think the relationship between the Odingas and Kenyatas would be well documented. That President Uhuru Kenyatta at least tried, because the Raila Odinga has enjoyed power since the handshake. And I'm looking at a situation where Uhuru Kenyatta wants a situation where he's going to hand over the presidency to Raila Odinga, even if it's for 1 month. Even if it's for 1 term. And after handing over the presidency to Raila Odinga, one of his sons is going to emerge. And Luos being Luos, they'll always remember President Uhuru Kenyatta. But for the president to do that, it has to be his interest, because politics is personal interest. So who can serve President Uhuru Kenyatta's interest? He has realized that Ruto cannot. What about Musalia Mudavadi? Probably Musalia Mudavadi. So that's something the president is doing. The third strategy the president is doing, is to tame these rogue ambitions of this gentleman. Let us go to One Kenya Alliance, for example. Who is their leader? Is it Gideon Moi? Is it Kalonzo? Or is it Musalia Mudavadi? Who is their leader? So basically what the president is doing, President Uhuru Kenyatta is taming the ambitions, or is taming all these guys. He's managing them. So that ultimately, when these guys met over the weekend, there was a seat which was reserved for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So basically, President Uhuru Kenyatta is now a hero to them. So the president is managing their egos. So you bring them together, then the president appears. So it means today, if these guys want to go this direction, the president can manage them to go this other direction. So basically, the president is taming them. What about Raila Odinga? President Uhuru Kenyatta is also taming Raila Odinga. He's telling Raila Odinga, you must work with your former co-principals. That's the only sure way. And only one of you can become the president. So for now, let us work on unity. That's what the president is doing. And he's taming them. And in fact, I've always opined on this platform that President Uhuru Kenyatta is one of the smart politicians. He's managed to tame the ambitions of all these guys. Strategy number 4 is locking the regions. Coastal region, for example, has religiously voted for Raila Odinga in the past. And there's fatigue amongst the people of the coastal region. And that fatigue would mean that William Ruto can venture into coastal region and get certain percentage of votes there. Then how do you lock out coast from him? You come up with a strategy. Bring all the governors from that region together and tell them that they also need to speak in one voice. And we saw Amason Kingi, Hassan Joho, Salim Vuria meeting last week. That meeting is about locking that region. So that instead of these guys leaving to go for William Samoei Ruto, they are going to either form their own political party at the coast. And if they're not going to form their own political party, then they are going to join one big political party. And by doing that, the president is going to lock out the coastal region. And then these coastal region guys can then be directed, let's say given a deputy prime minister. And once they're given a deputy prime minister, then it means they can easily lock that region and deliver the presidency to whoever the president would want. And lastly is the deep state. The deep state is deep state. And I want to observe something which is going to happen in Kisii. I want to follow the elections in Kisii, Bonchari. Who is going to win in Bonchari? Is it going to be the ODM party or is it going to be Jubilee party? I want to monitor it very closely because the deep state is going to determine who is going to win in that particular election. They are going to decide. So if it's ODM party, then they are going to ensure that ODM party is going to win that seat. Then Raila Odinga stamps his authority in that region. And if they're not going to do that, then it means they're going to tell Raila that you can only be confined to Luo Nyanza politics. So basically the deep state, the role the deep state is going to play in ensuring that the person the president wants is declared the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. And that's why I'm always very keen on what Karanja Kibicho is saying. His relationship with Raila Odinga, his relationship with these other core principles. Why are they facilitating the One Kenya Movement Alliance and not Raila Odinga? Is it to massage their egos, or is it that they are not for Raila Odinga? Let us wait and see how things are going to unfold. But the bottom line is that President Uhuru Kenyatta is crafting a super alliance. And that's why, despite making a lot of noise, Musalia Mudavadi stated that they are looking for Raila Odinga so that they can work with him again together. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Again, if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, thank you guys. Don't forget to wear your mask. Just wear it the right way. Sanitize and wash your hands. Avoid crowded places. This mask is going to help you guys. Thank you, and please may you have a good day.